Hello, welcome. If you haven't subscribed to my free emails yet, go to veganosaurus.com/newsletter to sign up. I am often told that people save my emails to read them again and again. They are conversational, story-based style emails with lots of recommendations, updates, and information. Go to veganosaurus.com/newsletter. The link is in the show notes and you can read more about it there and sign up. All right, on to today's episode. Hello. Welcome back to the Feel Good Factor. I'm Susmita Veganosaurus and I'm so glad you could join me here today. I have a guest today. If you know me, I don't often have guests on my show. So if someone's here, you bet they are special, and I'm really glad to have them. Dr. Will Tuttle is the author of the international bestseller, The World Peace Diet. It's been published in 18 languages. He has received several awards, and he is also the author of 2 new recent bestsellers, Food for Freedom and The World Peace Way. He's been vegan since the 80s. Yep, you heard that right. 45 years of being vegan. He's also a former Zen monk, and he's featured in a number of documentary films, and he has created several programs. He is deeply spiritual, and he's vegan, and he does veganic farming with his wife Madeline. You can hear all about it on today's episode. All right, on to the interview. Hi, Dr. Tuttle.
Yes. Hi, Susmitha. Wonderful to talk to you. Thanks, everyone, for listening.
Same here. I'm so glad you're here on the podcast. So, for whoever's listening, if you don't know Dr. Tuttle, you should watch some of his talks. They're so good. And he's a person with so much feel-good energy. So, Dr. Tuttle, what's the secret of your feel-good energy?
Well, the secret really is twofold. One is the food, and I think it's really important, and I'm so grateful, actually, that for the last 45 years, I have eaten no meat or dairy products or eggs. All the food is vegan, plant-based foods and organic, and I have a wonderful wife, my wife, Madeline. We've been married now for 32 years, together for 33 years, and so together we thrive on this way of eating. And then the other main key is spiritual practice. From the time I was 22 years old, 50 years ago, I've been meditating every morning for at least a few hours every day. And that foundation of meditation practice, where we enter the inner silence and connect with our true nature, is really important, I think, because we have to remember that we're not just a body, just a thing. We're infinite and eternal consciousness that was never born and will never die. And we're here on this earth for a few decades in this incarnation. And so the most important thing is to practice ahimsa, to practice loving kindness for all living beings. And when we do that, we have health and happiness, and our relationships with other people are harmonious as well.
So true. So true. So you said you've been vegan for 45 years and you started meditating 50 years ago. So do you believe that, or have you noticed that it's the meditation practice, you getting into spirituality, that led you to this vegan path?
Right. Well, they both happened together. You know, it's interesting. When I was right after college, I started reading spiritual books in college, and I read some of the books from India, like The Crestral of Discrimination, and other books about Ramana Maharshi and other great spiritual teachers. And my younger brother, and I decided we would go on a spiritual pilgrimage and walk with no money, like the sadhus of India, all the way across the country from Massachusetts, from Boston to California. And on the way, we were walking, and we decided to just head south because it was getting cold. And we ended up at a community called The Farm in Tennessee, which was a hippie commune in 1975. So that was 50 years ago. And we were meditating every day, many hours every day meditating, but we were still eating meat a little bit. We would eat whatever we could get. But right at the beginning, we met this community, and they were all vegetarian. And almost 1,000 people lived there. Wow. It's the largest hippie commune in the world. And they were actually vegan. I mean, there was no meat, dairy, or eggs, or even honey, but no one knew the word vegan back then. So they just said we're vegetarian. So that was it. I never ate meat in my life since that day.
Wow.
1975. So I've been a vegetarian for 50 years. And Madeline also in Switzerland in 1975, she also stopped eating meat. And then it took me about 5 years to go the whole way to vegan, giving up leather and wool and silk and cheese and dairy and eggs, all these things. So by 1980, I became a complete vegan, and I've been that way ever since. And it's just the best thing ever. So fantastic.
Best thing indeed. That I absolutely agree with you. And I felt this, and I have seen a lot of vegans say this too, that ever since they made the decision to go vegan, it has affected other parts of their lives too. Is that something you noticed for yourself also?
Yes, it's fantastic. It's like taking off shoes that were too tight, but you didn't realize it. And then suddenly it's like, oh, what a relief. It's so great. It's like this weight comes off your shoulders. You just feel happier, happy and healthier. There's a test you can do actually for your biological age, which I didn't know about. I just heard about it recently. And so Madeline and I both took the test. I'm 72 years old. And I just found out my biological age is only 22.
Wow. So, what is the test called?
It's called Don't Die. You can go to the, get an application. Get the app on your phone, Don't Die. You just get that app. It's by a man he's actually a vegan, but he specializes in longevity and living a long life. And he's done a lot of research. He spent millions of dollars on research on health. And with lots of scientists and everything. And they put together this test. And so we took it, and Madeline also is very, very young. She's only 35 at the age of 77. We didn't do it for our health. We really went vegan for the animals and for hungry people. But it's great for your health.
It's a bonus, right? And again, it ties in back to the spirituality things, where when we are doing good, or at least trying our best to do the least harm in our lives, then good things come back to us, right? There's always good energy coming back to us through the universe.
Exactly. That's the key point, really. All we do is do our best to send love and healing and joy and freedom out into the universe through our thoughts, words, deeds, actions, what we're eating, what we're buying, and bless others. And we don't do it to be happy ourselves, but the side effect is, when we help others be happy, we get happy. So I think, that's what that's the ancient teaching in India of the Indian wisdom, the Indian philosophy. If we read any of the ancient texts, they're always saying that, the importance of quieting the mind and living a life of introspection and kindness.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me, in the 80s, like that is so long ago, as you said, when you went when you went to the vegetarian community, they didn't even know the word vegan. And I'm sure in the 80s, when you turned vegan, nobody knew what it was. How did you handle people's reactions? Was it easy? Did it happen to be that people around you were supportive, or were they not? And how did you manage to, stay centered and balanced and also kind to yourself and others while also dealing with people's reactions?
Right. Yeah, it was very difficult in the early days because people knew what vegetarian was, but they had no idea what vegan was. And they thought it was so extreme and kind of ridiculous. And there were no foods at all. I mean, there was no such thing as, like non-dairy milk, or, I mean, there was this non-dairy, powder. You could buy this soy powder and mix it with water, and it was terrible, but that's what people would do for soy milk. And like we made the very first ice cream ever. At the farm in Tennessee. It was we would grind up soybeans and then make milk and then add thickener and sweetener and freeze it, and we called it ice bean. Like, it was terrible, but it was the first ice cream. So there wasn't any of that stuff. But the good part of that was we were healthier. We were eating just vegetables, fruits, grains, nuts, seeds. We were healthy. It wasn't. I think a lot of people now, they think, oh, I can go vegan and eat all these processed foods. So we were eating unprocessed foods, and but I always like a challenge. I always felt good about it, and I was never ever in any way embarrassed. I would always just told people it's the greatest thing. Dairy products really, they make people sick. We're not little calves. We're not designed to eat these casein and all these things that are in dairy products. We're not calves, so we can't process. So I just try to tell people it's a great thing. Try it out.
Yeah. And when you share your own story, right? Dr. Melanie Joy says this, right? Like, you share your story, don't tell people what they need to do. And that's it. That's magic. People will look at you, look at your energy, look at your glow of energy around you, and be like, okay, I want to be like this. How can I do it?
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah, it's much better to just be an example than to try to change people, really.
And you've been, wow, such an example over the years with your books. Of course, your World Peace Diet is known across, like, anybody who's vegan will know about World Peace Diet. And recently you have written another book. Actually, you have 3 books totally, right?
Right. Yeah, 3 main books. I have some other smaller ones, but yeah, the 2 new books. One is The World Peace Way. That's our newest one, which is just a practical book on how to thrive and celebrate our lives on this beautiful earth. So it includes nutrition, meditation, relationships, movement, exercise, into creativity, connecting with nature, the 6 keys to health and harmony for everyone. And then the other one is Food for Freedom, which goes more deeply into the ideas in the World Peace Diet and how we can create a society of freedom and justice for everyone based on the ideas in the World Peace Diet.
Wow. And that's so nice. What made you, after all these years, want to write these 2 new books?
I think the main reason was I felt that, the World Peace Diet is a classic, and there's no need to change one word in it because it's timeless. It focuses on the universal principles. But then I felt it was important to write a couple of books that are more practical, that kind of apply the principles to what we're seeing in the news, and also apply the principles to how we live our daily lives, what we actually eat, what we put on our skin, all the, how we treat each other, just really practical kinds of things. So that was the main reason I thought we should do that.
What has the response been to this in your spiritual circles? I mean, in the vegan world, everyone is like, yay, another book by Dr. Tuttle. But, in the spiritual circles, there are many mixed ways of thinking, right? Especially in meditation, not everybody is open to the idea of being vegan and how much that really impacts your energy, how much it makes your meditation practice better, everything. So what has the reaction been? Have they been more open to it because you've written it in a practical way in the new books?
Yes, I think so. It's a little early to tell. The World Peace Way has only been out for maybe 5 or 6 months, but it gotten off to a very good start. It was a #1 bestseller in its category on Amazon, and so the reaction so far has been pretty good from people. But it's like anything else. It's the weirdest thing that people who consider themselves spiritual, as soon as they have eating animal foods questioned, very often they get defensive. They think, well, wait a minute here. So the whole idea is not to blame or criticize, but just to emphasize how we're just raised in a society where it's normalized, where it's rationalized. Everybody eats meat, dairy, and eggs, and so we're not bad people. We just are doing what we've been taught to do. So it's trying to kind of draw them out with the idea that it's not their fault. They're not a bad, evil person. It's just the culture has, in a sense, compels them to do something that's not in their best interest spiritually or health-wise. And so, yeah, there are people. I meet people quite often. They say, I was a spiritual person, but I was still eating meat and I'm still eating dairy, and I read your books and now I'm not doing it anymore. It's great.
Nice.
So it does work with some people.
Yeah, and when we put messages out there, whoever needs to hear it will hear it. Whoever needs to get that message at the right time, they will get it. That's it, right? This is good to trust in that process and then wait to hear the feedback from these people. It feels like, okay, I can continue to do the work I'm doing because, of course, it's making an impact in the world.
Well, yeah. And the other thing is we really frame the whole message in beauty. Like Madeline has these beautiful paintings of animals celebrating their lives and nature. And I play the piano, uplifting piano music, and then we speak. So the whole idea is to help remind people that we live on a beautiful earth. It's abundant. We can make beautiful music together. We can make beautiful art. We can have beautiful families. We can have a beautiful life here, really. And animal agriculture is always the opposite of beautiful. It's always misery and ugliness and terror. It's not good. So when we emphasize that, like we have a food forest now too. We've planted 80 fruit and nut trees right here where we live on our land.
Wow.
And so we're eating such wonderful food. It's all veganic, no we don't use any bone meal or blood meal or animal fertilizer or anything like that. And we've been doing this now for 13 years. And we eat just wonderful new fruits and veggies and nuts and things that we grow ourselves. So the whole idea is it's beautiful. We go out into the garden and it's a beautiful place. And food comes out of it. The more we love nature, the more nature loves us back. We can live that way.
Is it difficult to grow a veganic? Because you've said 13 years. So how long did it take for it to kind of, become more stable?
Right. It's from the very beginning, it worked pretty well. I mean, the trees, they take a few years before they start bearing fruit. But we were planting tomatoes and eggplants and zucchinis and things. And then the trees really have done great. I mean, we have some of our trees, like our fig trees and our nectarines and our peaches, they give us hundreds. Sometimes 5, 6, 700 nectarines, peaches, cherries, apples, pears, persimmons, olives.
That's incredible.
So many, all the citrus, oranges, lemons, grapefruits. Yeah, we can grow a lot of different things here. We can't. We're not in a tropical area, so we're not able to grow bananas or avocados, but we can grow a lot of different things. And we just found if we just love the trees and make sure they're well cared for and compost everything, they do great. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Wow. I would love to visit you when I'm in that part of the world.
Right.
I mean, the fruits, my mouth is watering just hearing all the names of the peach and the cherry and everything. And what you said about, making it about creating beauty and love and a good feeling, I align with that so much. And I have heard you and Madeline play your beautiful music when you were here in India. I think 2017 or 18, right? I think 2000.
I think it was somewhere in there. 2000. Yeah. I think it's 2017 maybe.
17. Yeah. So, I mean, you truly embody that energy with you wherever you go, in your speech, with the performance, and of course the art. And I also have watched Madeline's recipe videos. So much fun.
Oh, good. Right. Yeah, she has wonderful cooking videos.
Yeah, she does.
How to prepare the food. Right. Exactly.
You are both a very nice example of how making these choices, whether it's being vegan, being spiritual, having these practices, sending out good energy in the world, you are really good examples of how this pays off in the long run. And thank you for being such an inspiration to the rest of us.
No, thank you so much, Susmitha. You too. You're doing wonderful work. We really appreciate it. Everything.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Everyone, I'm posting Dr. Tuttle's links in the show notes. You can go to worldpeacediet.com to find him, but also there is another special link where you can get, it says worldpeacediet.org/living. What is the free gift that's there in that, Dr. Tuttle?
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. It's worldpeacediet.org/living.htm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also a whole file of Madeline's intuitive cooking recipes, vegan recipes.
Nice.
And then the 75-minute talk that I give, Living in Harmony with All Life, all the benefits of eating a vegan, in a vegan way of eating. So, yeah.
Wow,
absolutely.
cool. Everybody, I'm putting the link in the show notes. Go and access it. All right,
Great.
Dr. Tuttle, thank you so much. It was a pleasure chatting with you. And, I couldn't help but talk to you longer. Though my podcast episodes are short, this is such an interesting conversation.
Right.
I could go
All
on for
right.
even longer.
Right. I know. Yeah, much love. We really appreciate what you're doing. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Whew. That was quite a conversation, wasn't it? Dr. Tuttle and his wife Madeline are so inspiring. Go to the links and step into their world. I didn't plan it this way, but turns out that, today is like a perfect day to publish this episode. It's October 2nd, Gandhi Jayanti. So, to celebrate the birthday of one person who spoken about ahimsa and kindness and being really kind to animals and everything through their lives, we have just listened to another person who speaks about all these things and still continuing to make a difference in the world for the highest good of all. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed to my emails yet, go to veganosaurus.com/newsletter and sign up to my free email list, The Feel Good Tribe. See you inside the tribe. Take care. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of The Feel Good Factor. I'm Susmita Veganosaurus, and I'm looking forward to talking to you again very soon. Bye!